Alright, so red, white, metal. What does metal mean? Metal refers to this card, Path of Mettle. That's a pseudo sweeper. It says when it comes into play, it deals 1 damage to each creature that doesn't have first strike, double strike, vigilance, or haste yet. And it says when you've attacked with at least 2 creatures that have first strike, double strike, vigilance, or haste, transform this. And then it flips over into this legendary land that makes mana of any color, deals damage to your opponent every single turn, or destroys a creature that attacked at random. So this card's really powerful if you could flip it over. The first activated ability lets you burn out control decks like pretty consistently from high health totals, and the bottom effect is very good against other mid-range and aggro decks that are going to be attacking you. Hey, MTG David, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. So I think this one is like has a high enough density of constructed playable cards. I'm going to go ahead and try and play at least the first couple in the ranked queue and see how things go here. And a little bit resource heavy, but like one of my lands attacks and like History into Aurelia is like a pretty reasonable curve. Double History, also reasonable curve. Alright, let's give him the history lesson. Oh. Kind of Abzan mid-range on the opponent's part, looks like. Huh. So... Thanks, David. If I play Aurelia here, I can attack a 2/2 into their Seraph. But if I play Lyra this turn, that means next turn I can play Aurelia and activate Mobilized District when I attack, which I think is more appealing. Although if they have like Green Source Vivian, I'm pretty sad. Any removal spell makes it a little awkward. That's good for me though. Sweet. So this pops off. No. Oh, I'm dumb. I miscounted. I'm still 1 short. I have 2 left over, but it takes 2 to activate. Hey, Matt Maxon. Can we put Green Black Citadel back in the queue? We definitely can. Thank you for the 10 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. So we're going to get a bunch of chump blockers here. I'm going to deploy a Knight of Grace. Gosh, how good would Path of Mettle be? Path of Mettle doesn't care about flying, right? It's all the other keywords. Double strike, first strike, vigilance, haste. Yeah, so Path would smoke their board. It's any fast keyword. Yeah, really, it does give herself trample next turn. Down to 3. Vivian, sure. So I assume we're going to see her shoot this.
Would you like to
because this gives trample. Alright, metal is lethal. Heroic is lethal. Oh, is that not quite lethal? Close enough. Alright. I'm surprised we had a patch today and they still haven't fixed the drunk token problem. Lava Coil seems great against the Seraph of the Scales deck. Shock seems a little bit less than stellar. You think it'd be clunky in paper? 1000% is it going to be clunky in paper. I think I want to trim these big chunky flyers against the deck with Vivians in them. Maybe I just like throw a Vanguard in here as another random 2-drop. I don't hate that. I think I like Ugin on the draw just because, like, we're a little bit less likely to be able to get fully underneath my opponent before they get set up. So Ugin lets us play bigger as the game goes along. Generating card advantage. Patch today didn't add foil Hinterland Harbor either. Listen, they don't love Hinterland Harbor. It's just not happening. Oh, I didn't even notice we were playing against Derek again. We played against them on Abzan Aristocrats earlier today. This hand's pretty good. It would ideally like to draw a white source here, but we're on the draw. You got 2, 3, 4. Perfect. The string quartet you shield for is A+. I agree, Slacker. They have some quality tunes. Aurelia with Swiftblade is definitely a combo. How did Abzan Aristocrats do? We've not played an Abzan Aristocrats deck on stream, Silas.
The weak at every opportunity. I believe in you.
They missed their third land here. It's real good for us. Wonder if they have a trophy. Trophy even's like not the worst for us because it ramps us up into Ugin sooner. Bring it on. We are going to hit them for a lot of damage next turn. This makes this a 4-3. Oh, they're still Abzan hero. I guess that makes sense. Gives this one lifelink. This will target here. We could have flipped this turn, I suppose, but I think this is better. Casual 26 over here. Any tokens they make here, Path will clean right out. I'm going to give this indestructible this time around, because I think there's a good chance my opponent, okay. Let's see, I thought they were going to kill this before I entered combat. Oh, they have Moment of Craving as their rule spell, sure. Oh, huh. And because they have Moment here, I actually don't get to flip this. But because of this Path of Mettle trigger, if they want to double block here, they have to trade both their guys away. So, we're still in a pretty commanding spot regardless. Yeah, the overlay's broken with flip cards. Here's the full text. I'll try and remember that one throughout. Yeah, if Aurelia would have targeted itself, the path would have flipped. It's just Aurelia does more damage targeting the other thing, so I wanted to target that. maybe I'm supposed to predict moment. Like, once they let me get to combat, it's kind of apparent that they're not killing the Aurelia, but they could still be killing something else. So maybe I am supposed to predict that. This is our first aggro deck with District. Yes. Yes, it is, actually. All the Planeswalkers have voice actors at least since open beta, if I recall correctly.
That was nothing.
So... this indestructible.
Prepare for battle.
Target yourself. Oh gosh, she has Mentor too. I forgot she has Mentor. They should be dead here no matter how we slice this. Okay, I guess this technically keeps them alive. This only activates for 2. Gideon is so good against sweepers. Gideon is real good against sweepers. Playing Green-Black Citadel right now, and a Boreal Grazer being an 0-3 with reach is relevant against Defense Sanity. Yeah, definitely, Walgamar. No, these are best of 3 with sideboards, Vance. Pretty much all I play here on stream is best of 3 with sideboards. I think new Gideon is probably much worse than Gideon of the Trials in Legacy. The fact that Gideon of the Trials has an emblem that's relevant against Storm and some other combo decks is super relevant. Oh, my hand was a little bit mana heavy to start here, getting slightly better. It's a good get to go 2, 3, 4 now, which is nice. Yesterday in Arena, lost to Green-Black Citadel and then Green-Red Circuit. I have you to blame for my rank. Alright, so do I Tajic here? If I Tajic an attack, they're gonna just trade. This has first strike, so I can attack in here just fine. I think I just play this post-combat on defense. Gosh, Path of Mettle would be really good here, huh? Huh? Prime Speaker Vanifear is terrifying. I don't have a removal spell for that though. And she's got a big fat booty. So like I can play History here, but the problem is it's gonna just get like Deputy of Detention. Navier coming in hot with the big tip. Having too much fun with Bant Bow. Here's some support for the cool deck and throw it back in the queue. Sounds good, Navier. 10 out of 10 will do. That should put it back in again tomorrow. Thank you. I feel like just like letting them Prime Speaker Vanifear probably means we're dead. In fact, I'm just gonna concede. I don't think we're gonna beat that. Let's get some Lava Coils in my deck. Tajic's pretty bad on a format where they're gonna give up the board. Are these shocks good enough? Probably not. I think I want to go big over the top with this. This notably does not kill their best card, their Vanifear. Tajic can have First Strike, but he's just really expensive in terms of mana to get First Strike that I think he's not worth playing. If I have 4 Lava Coils, Lava Coil is definitely very good against the deck that needs its 2/4 to stay alive. Is it crazy to run the Explore package without Wild Growth Walker? It's not. Merfolk Branchwalker isn't a very good card on its own on average. So like the Bant Bow deck we played earlier today, I didn't have room for the entire Explore package, but I did just play Jade Light Ranger. Because like Jade Light Ranger I think is like a constructed playable card completely on its own. I think I'm going to bottom this because I already have 2, 3, 4 in my hand. So I want to just give myself the best possible chance to hit my 4th land by turn 4. Legacy does not have a restricted list. Legacy has a ban list only. Yeah, you can find the list for Sultai Flash and many other deck lists on my website, jeffhoagland.com or magicesports.net. Whichever would you prefer?
God's bless us in our righteous cause. I believe in you, friend.
A new lexicon. Thank you for the 7-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, so do I just Lava Coil their dork? I think I just Lava Coil their dork. It's like not resource efficient. Nope, JMK. One of the really nice things about playing digitally is I don't have to commit to what deck I want to play in advance. So I don't have to like have someone mail me a physical Magic the Gathering deck. I've not tried the Band Vanifear list that won the WMCQ, no. Yeah, of course, magicesports.net forwards to my website.
I believe in you.
Do I rent decks for tournaments? No, generally speaking, if I'm gonna play in a paper tournament, it's because I found someone that can lend me a deck. So, like, I'm gonna play in the Modern Nerd Rage tournament 2 weeks from now, and one of my subscribers mailed me a copy of the Green Black Elves deck that I would like to play in that tournament. I think we're probably dead here, huh? I don't know that I can beat this Lyra reasonably.
I am not quite indestructible.
I would like to ask about any lunar anomalies you have experienced. To the library.
Yeah, I just don't think we're going to be able to beat this Lyra. Feels bad, man. Do I want... Do I want a way to deal with slightly larger creatures? Maybe. I have Lava Coil. It's like just Prison Realm, basically, right? I guess there's so many enchantment destruction spells right now. That's probably reasonable overall still. Fight with fire. I actually don't hate that. I like that it kicks up and eventually burns them out. Let's try that, actually. That's a good suggestion. Fight with fire seems very reasonable. Sure. My Vanifear opponent tried to tutor while I had Ashiok in play. Why, Minko? Instead of me telling you you're wrong, can you tell me why you're right? Why do you think I should cut Lava Coil for Fight with Fire? I really like Lava Coil because Lava Coil allows me to exile things like Rekindling Phoenix. Well, that's rude. Well, Citywide Bust also kills a lot of my own creatures, Silas.
You could use some training.
I have Shalais, I have Aurelias, I have other such things. Well, the exile is very important, Miniko. There are a lot of very key threats in this format that you need to be killing that have effects like Rekindling Phoenix or like Judith or other effects that impact you when... Oh, that extra card doesn't actually do anything, right? I'm so used to caring about this card all the time. It actually doesn't do anything. Just actual 0 cards in our deck that have text that care about that. We've not flipped Path of Mettle yet, no. Yeah, they just don't want you to have multiple of them in play at the same time, Edge. So here's a very important, as someone who fancies himself the king of concessions, the thing you need to understand, Snap Bolt Snap, is you're not very dead against Esper Control until they have a sustained source of card advantage. If you're going to concede to Esper Control against not against a sustained source of card advantage, you might as well just never play the matchup. So, Esper Control doesn't really have you locked out until they have a steady flow of stuff, because they do just run out of cards, 1-for-1ing you a whole bunch. And eventually, you're going to draw fewer lands than they do and pull ahead. So until they have a 5-mana Teferi going or Search for Azcanta flipped, you really have a very decent chance against them. But the garbage time that we talk about where the game's effectively over even though you're not dead, you don't really realistically hit that point against Esper Control until you're in a position where they are drawing multiple cards per turn. Hi, Water Gaming. Thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Jedi Pros coming in hot with the 2nd month. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. afternoon live. Seems super reasonable to go 2 into 3. Have a Mobilized District in the middle. Actually, do I want to go 2 into 3? I probably want to play Vindicator, actually, right? Because this means I attack for 7 on turn 3. Alright, JK, we're going to play this next turn. I'm feeling hot, hot, hot. The one downside to this line of play is that it's worse against Cry of the Canarium, because if I would have played this on 2, this would have mentored this up to a 3. But the fact that they took this out of my hand last turn kind of implies they don't have Cry. And actually, I get to shock this in and hit them with Mobilized District this turn too, right? They're like really very dead. This is hitting for 6. They're going to 1 here, right? And if I hit... Now, if they have Kaya's Wrath, I need an untapped land to activate this. Some good clean live-in. Tajic, Swiftblade Vindicator. Very impressive 1-2 punch there. That was the easy game. That was the game we were on the play. Now I gotta try and win one on the draw. Sure, let's do it. Twitch decided to be generous now that you don't get bonus bits, so here's almost $1. Thanks, T-Dub, I appreciate it. I mean, Path doesn't have a text box against control a lot of the time, you're correct. That being said, Path getting flipped against control is extremely good, right? Like, if we can flip this over, like, dealing 2 damage a turn is going to grind them down very quickly. And the fact that I have heroic reinforcements here as a follow-up to my Path to Exile is like a really big deal.
I know my responsibility. I'll protect you. I march into battle as your champion of justice. Your light will leave the darkness. Let's try this.
I train and keep an open mind.
Ooh, that's really good. Now, I do want to kill Narset this time because she's going to draw another card. So last time, the first game I said there was no point in killing her because I didn't have cards that drew cards, but killing her here prevents my opponent from drawing another card, which is meaningful. And now, if they Thought Erasure me and don't take this, with this and this next turn, I'm actually going to be able to flip my path, which is sweet. I'm going to get Draw Step Thought Erasure here. No, I don't think that's true at all, Lost Thorfgrave. I think there's definitely positions where the control deck can come back. Yep.
I believe in you, friend. Hey, that was uncalled for.
Those two things aren't correlated, Ozzy Pants.
Here we go.
Saying you can't say when a game is functionally over is just nonsense. That's not how thus works. I agree with that. All right, untapped land. Untapped land. All right. All right. Trigger.
It's only a matter of time.
Let's see if this can drag us across the finish line.
No time for a break.
Do I play around absorb?
My presence alone.
I don't think I can afford to play around absorb here.
Only time will tell.
Create or destroy.
So again, for people that aren't familiar with this card, we can pay 2 to deal 2 damage to each opponent, which means once they eventually run us out of gas here, this is going to be able to sit there and deal damage to them every turn. Oh, this is sweet. My opponent drew a Vraska's Contempt, but Shalai is gonna protect from it. I think Fuji's aware of the issues with flip cards, Marty, just for what it's worth. Guess they could have Mortify. If they have Mortify for this, and then they could Contempt this, but even then they're still like not in a great spot, right? Because I have Tajic as a follow-up. If they have Land Wrath Contempt here, they're in this game, but if they don't have Land Wrath Contempt, I think we're a pretty solid favorite. Alright, well, Kaya's Wrath is basically they're out at this point, so I'm not putting anything else on the board, especially when I can spend my mana to just, like, dome them for 2 here. Oh, that land is so good. Go. Hey, you're dead in 2. Yep. Actually, they might just be dead to Mobilized District next turn, right? I have enough mana to activate Mobilized District and my Path of Mettle. This card's gonna be a format staple in the new non-rotating format too. When the new format comes up, this is gonna be everywhere. I would like to attempt to kill you now, please. Rats! They have Vraska's Contempt that buys them another turn. It'll almost certainly be in paper too.
Let's skip to the good part.
I think I'm just not playing creatures. I think I'm just not playing creatures or spells out at this point, because I think all of their stuff that gains life requires me to like do something, right? So I'm just gonna like kill them. Yeah, just like not casting a spell into that. Ain't nobody got time to cast a spell into that one. The audio is going wonky, so I'm just gonna go ahead and mute this for now. And I'll restart after this game's done. Hopefully the game will be done here in a half second. They could cast their own spell and absorb it. You're not wrong. But that's going to take some effort. So they can Kaya's Wrath and then absorb it here. But then I get a chance to play my own spells. Wow, sick. Sick read. We might lose, yeah. Yep. Because this Teferi's gonna ult on us. And I think this all comes down to, and again, like, this is why it can be tough to, like, get better at Magic, because I think if I just don't attack with that Mobilized District into that Vraska's Contempt, they don't get the turn of breathing room that they need to survive here. Yeah, I think we're dead. No, much. The Naya Hero deck's not particularly competitive, I don't think, Tedio. It effectively kills us, Zach. It takes our only way to win off the table. They're like, almost, they have Chemister's Insight in their graveyard here. So I'm going to go ahead and restart really quick here. How we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody, wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, sometimes even 50 hours a week. If you're someone who enjoys standard best of 3 constructed, this is definitely the channel for you. We play a ton of different decks, and we change decks every 60 minutes to 2 hours, so you get a lot of variety. As always, I'd love to give a shout out to my wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their support, so thanks to all of them for keeping me employed. I'd also like to take a hot second to plug a couple of my sponsors here really quick. The Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series, a $5,000 cash tournament series that happens every single month in the Midwestern United States. If you can't make it out to the Midwest to play in one of their standard, modern, or legacy tournaments, you can check out their streaming coverage as well at twitch.tv/NRG series. I'm actually going to be playing in their modern tournament in a couple of weeks here, as well as their standard tournaments next month. So if you want to see me play some paper Magic, be sure to tune into them for that. BCW Supplies are the only ones I trust to protect my very valuable paper Magic the Gathering cards. Get on over to bcwsupplies.com and use code Jeff10. You can save 10% on sleeves, binders, deck box, and all sorts of other fantastic gaming accessories there with them. Play DKP makes a very unique product, the Dragon Claw, which would love to help you hold on to your cards when you're either playing on the go or outside in a little bit of wind. And if you head on over there and use code Jeff5, you can save 5% on your purchase there with them. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. Now, there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now, and I appreciate you choosing to spend part of your Thursday here with us. We're heading on into our 4th match here with Red White Metal. See if we can get on up to 2-2. I did restart mid-shill. So client's all good to go. The dual purpose shill. Plug the sponsors, restart the application. It is possible, after seeing how that game played out, that perhaps I don't have enough cards for control in the sideboard of this deck, because leaving cards like Shalai in my deck did not feel particularly good there. You lose the game in Magic as soon as your health total hits 0. As soon as state-based actions are checked, if your health is at 0, you lose the game. If they're mono red, getting into Shalai should be a very good curve for us. Scale of 1 to dead, where's this knight at? The dead side of the scale? Got it. Yep. I think I'm actually just going to play another knight here rather than Gideon. I think there's a good chance if I play Gideon and plus him here, he just dies. I like send a burn spell plus an attack at him, and that's like not very profitable for me. And playing cards like Knight and Shalai out first can potentially like bait burn spells out of their hand. Yeah, you're never actually fully dead with lifelink damage. Fun fact, once upon a time before lifelink was a keyword, a lifelink-esque effect used to use the stack. Hey, Roan Bing, thank you for the third of a year. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, Tajic plus Shalai is a 1-2 punch that will make mono red players hate themselves. No blocks here. Not trading my Shalai for a 2 or 3 damage burn spell here. Because that would functionally change how the card works, Marty. We did kill a lot of people with the Mantbo deck, Burgle. Alright, and the fact that they had to spend both of these to kill this meant that they couldn't cast Pyromancer this turn, which is a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and shock this to start, although they probably don't have another Wizard's Lightning. Unfortunately, Gideon Blackblade here cannot give himself lifelink, so while with another creature he's very good against red deck wins, he's not particularly stellar on his own.
Welcome. My assistants are painfully sloppy.
I believe in you, friend.
How did I missequence that? How is any of my sequencing there relevant? Indestructible is not. This is only until the end of my turn, chat. This isn't full. I know some of these effects are for a full turn cycle, but this is not one of them.
Will cleave the darkness.
Gideon becomes a 4/4 taking damage from a creature burn. No, because Gideon explicitly says prevent all damage that will be dealt to him during our turn. Shouldn't you attack the opposite way because the Swiftblade has trample? Ooh, that's a good catch. That's a good catch / suggestion.
I believe in you.
So I'm gonna mentor here. This tramples, so this guarantees dies. Well, I guess this doesn't get to deal. I should have gone the other way, right? Well, I don't need to give Tajic indestructible because I can give him first strike.
You should be flattered I decided to torture you. My friend is here to help your pain.
Please try and burn my card. Please try and burn my not Tajic. Tajic prevents non-combat damage to my other sources, so... Deal. Deal. Are they dead? I think they're dead, right? Gideon exiles this. They block Gideon. They take 6, 7, 8, 9.
Darkness be gone.
You can always find past deck lists on my website, my Stream Decker page, and my YouTube channel. Crooks in if you're looking for decks that you know we've played in the past. All right, so I think I want Lava Coils on the draw. Heroic Reinforcement seems a little bit mediocre here. Actually, I know that this card was good there, but I think this card is actually probably not amazing in this matchup, right? It dies to their Goblin Chain Whirler. And actually, maybe this is better than that because this can surprise flip Path of Mettle. What do we think? Swiftblade Vindicator versus Heroic Reinforcements. Which do we want better? Noticed only one has been added in the past 2 days. Are you looking in the right spot? Or did my things break? Nope. All the videos are up there always live, MTGO. You're probably looking in the wrong spot. I would encourage you to check this page here. Click Video Standard at the top. Every standard video I stream gets added to that page. Maybe you are looking under the Favorites tab. The Favorites tab has only one or two videos added per day. But even the Favorites tab has multiple videos in the last week. Pretty easy mulligan here. Mana's just not good enough. The spells are great, so like, if this was like a red-white dual land, I think I'd keep this, but with this being a Mobilized District, I don't think I can, unfortunately. This hand's very good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna push the red deck out the door. 5, 6, 7, 8. Try and get your goblin straight. Oh, yeah, just like I like it. Really? Huh. That's also a good pickup. So I assume this Knight of Grace is dead. I suppose if they have, like, killed this into Goblin Chain Whirler, we could actually be in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, for the record, I don't think Heroic Reinforcements or Vindicator are good in this matchup. That's why I was discussing which one we think is less bad, not which one we think is good. Because I agree that neither of them are good.
Share in my light.
There is no protection from Red Knight, or hexproof from Red Knight, specifically. If Gideon gains 6 here, that's great for us. Or gains 5, whatever.
My strength gave out.
I wonder if I'm supposed to lead on Aurelia because she hasn't died a Lava Coil. Opponent also mulliganed this game and kept a hand that's not working out too well for them. Our hand was also very good. That one, please. And now our angels are here to close relatively quickly. Gosh, if we draw Lyra next turn. Even without drawing Lyra, our next turn is very good on the back of these heroic reinforcements. Chandra, eh?
Wanna go, tough guy? No problem. Fire can't solve.
There's no problem fire can't solve. We'll see about that. Ooh. I don't know. I don't think so. So I do this. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think I do 14, right? 14. Because I can shock this, and then this does +3 basically, right? Because it gives itself 2 and then it mentors. So this is basically 6, 10, 14. Hey, Greaseball, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. And then Chandra can't hit me because I have hexproof. No, they're very dead. Do-do-do-do-do-do. That's true. Heroic is much better than Swiftblade Vindicator would have been here. It seems like that was the right decision to leave in. I actually have time for one more here still. I feel like I didn't have enough good tools for the control matchup. So like, let's think about my sideboard plan for a moment against Esper Control. So against Esper Control, I think I ideally want to cut 3 Shocks, 2 Shalais, and 2 Lyra Dawnbringers, which is 7 cards. And currently, looking at my sideboard, I have 3 Adanto, 2 Ugin to bring in. So I think I need to cut 2 more cards from my sideboard for cards that I can bring in against Esper. Ooh, Legion Warboss is a good suggestion. I like the idea of Legion Warboss. It gains haste too, which means it works with metal. I think with the Lava Coils and the Fight with Fires and the Shocks, I probably don't need these Solar Blazes. I think I like the suggestion of Legion Warboss. So I mean, like, people are saying our 3-drop slot is kind of congested, but here, let me duplicate this really quick. Getting a visual representation of your deck in different forms is reasonable. So, for instance, what I'm suggesting here is that post board against control, I'd now look like this. Which this doesn't seem unreasonable, huh? Like that curve is like reasonably satisfactory, I think. We've got 11 good 2-drops, 14 if you count Path of Mettle, and then a similar number of 3s and then a couple of 4s. In general, I think Warboss is better than Krenko just because Warboss makes a token the turn you play it. You want to think about it in terms of damage output. So like, with Legion Warboss attacks for 1 the turn you play it, and the 5 the turn after you play it, whereas Krenko attacks for nothing, and then attacks for 2, and then attacks for 7, so he's slower to get going. I think risk factor's too narrow. I think I'd rather just have a bunch of threats. I think I'd rather just have a bunch of threats. I think I'd rather have, like, cards that, like, can be good when they're at a higher health total. If your opponent is ever like above like 8, risk factor basically just reads deal 8, which isn't good enough a lot of the time. Alright, we're 2-2. Let's see if we can finish out above 50% or not with this one. We played a 5-colored Niv Mizzet deck that the requester explicitly made me build with Planeswalkers, so it was really bad. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh, trigger. Bye, Felicia. All right, let's draw a white source. Let's draw a white source and do it. Let's draw a white source and do it, please. Come on. Come on. Don't fail me now, deck. There we go. There we go. We're cooking with gas. We're cooking with gas. And then we're hoping to draw a untapped land again next turn so I can go Vindicator plus Knight of Grace. Hopefully they just make this a 4/4 this turn. Perfect. Fantastical. So good chance we get to flip over Path of Mettle next turn. Alright, so if I play this, I can make my Swiftblade Vindicator a 3-2 with double strike. Or 3-1 with double strike. It's probably, even if my opponent could somehow get this board back in check, they probably can't beat this card destroying a random attacker every turn. Even if they could somehow, like, beat this board. I would like to mentor onto my first strike creature. Trample, baby. That incredibly red trample ability. Our curve was quite absurd here, drawing the lands to curve out. Get him, got him. Good. We've come a long way from Sarah Angel indeed. Come a long way from Sarah Angel indeed. Alright, I want all these removal spells. I think I don't want Shalai. I do want these. Is it crazy to cut Gideon on the draw? I feel like even with the extra removal, we're probably going to have a hard time keeping Gideon alive, right? Like, they put a lot of beefcakes into play, and I feel like this is going to be a matchup where I'm, like, racing and using my health total as a resource a lot of the time. So while Gideon's lifelink would be useful there, I think the fact that he's a threat that they can attack to death makes him not particularly great. Let's try this. Alright, hand needs a white source, but if we get it, we get to curve out super slick. 2 more shots. Drawing another 2-drops here isn't even the worst, because it means, like, if we brick on the white source, we have, like, another play on turn 3 still. And a Knight before History is really good, because it means, like, when this pops, it gets real big. If we get the white source, we get to give him the old History lesson. Drawing Mountain there is better than bricking, at least. So we've got that going for us.
Oh, what? Can't finish the job?
Orzhov Knights with Gideon instead of Benelish feels really good. Instead, why not in addition to? Does that have to be an either or thing?
Seen the last of me.
This card might be tough to beat. I don't know that we're gonna be able to power through that one. Well, I mean, like, if you can cast Gideon, you can cast Knight, right? Or History of Benalia. History of Benalia and Gideon have the same requirement to cast Archimedes. I think we're probably dead here, huh?
Come on.
I think filter lands will be broken. No, almost certainly not. Filter lands are miserable. They really suck to draw in multiples. They're probably terrible to program into the auto chapter logic. This is a filter land. Or not.
You want to play with fire?
Is
huh?
it fire dashlit?
Oh, it's you burning.
Yeah, we're super good here. Look.
To the skies.
Would Oketra be better than Lyra in this deck? I don't think so. We don't actually have that many creatures. And could you explain why you think Oketra would be better than Lyra in this deck? A full set of Psycho lands could be nice too, I agree. I think I want Ugin. Tajic probably has a hard-ish time attacking in a lot of the time to their board. Gideon eventually kills things. Gideon's a little bit better on the play than the draw. So that I can stick to the board. Well, Oketra's not really better against removal, lazy man. So the thing you have to remember is that while the gods allow you to redraw them, they don't generate card advantage, actual card advantage. This hand's okay. If we curve out to 5, it's probably very good. That's awkward. That probably means we're dead. I think missing here is a death knell. They have anything resembling a reasonable draw from here. I really don't like predicting the future, Turkey Slough. Not a fan. If I had the power to predict the future, I would use it for more than just children's card games. This is the danger of this, so like, they get Biogenic Ooze and I don't have a window to shock it here. We hit the land for Lyra. That's so unfortunate. I guess this gets to give itself lifelink. And just a very small window to shock this to death, and we missed it, unfortunately. Land. She gives herself vigilance here. Get to power up kids. If they don't have removal spells for these, we might be able to power through the Zeus here, even though we missed first beat. Yeah, if they're just like activating Ooze here, that's basically a concession, right? I guess they could like need like Collision Colossus, but again, a lot of these Gruul decks have been cutting Collision Colossus, which makes these big fat flyers a lot better. Sure. If they just pass here, they're dead on board because Gideon exiles their Phoenix.
Good triumphs this day.
Sweet. All right. I thought we were gonna be out of that one when we missed our land drop on 3, but then we hit it on 4 and we were able to catch up just enough. The big beefy flyers still enough to pull through. I felt like this deck was like pretty reasonable overall, and like the takeaway on decks like this is one of the ways you can tell if your deck's going to be reasonable is while this card is strong when it works, the key to making it good and constructed playable is how many low quality cards you have to play in your deck to enable it. And if you look at this deck that we're playing here, we really don't have cards that like aren't strictly not constructed playable on their own. Like the individual card quality that we have going on here is like within reasonable bounds or expectation. In fact, you could probably argue the only below power level card we're playing is Swiftblade Vindicator, but this card isn't just good with Path to Mettle, it's also good with like Aurelia and Tajic as well. So this card, while a little bit under the normal power curve for standard, has potential with a variety of things in our deck, not just the Path to Mettle.